Hi!
We're the Ball family.
Come with us as we discover the Red Centre Way.
Let's go.
We were surprised at the range of options. We're travelling with 6, so we're reasonably budget conscious. We camped. Mum and Dad, on the other hand, they went 5-star. They went to the resort. They loved it. We certainly did a lot of the free activities, the didgeridoo playing, the bush yarns, the Marla walk. Fantastic experiences for us and fit into our budget. We did lash out and do a few of the paid experiences for the kids. The reptiles was one and the Field of Lights was the other, and well worth the money. Yeah. I'd spend it again every day. My highlight for the Red Centre Way has been Uluru. Uluru took my breath away from the moment I saw it. It actually gave me a perspective on the country that I didn't have. It is truly breathtaking throughout the day, morning and night, middle of the day, an incredible experience, and just encourage everyone to come and have a look at it. Unbelievable.
For the family, this morning the Marla walk was great. The kids really enjoyed it.
Morning everyone, my name's Lockie and I'm a ranger here in the National Park. So the Marla walk is, I suppose, a free activity that tourists can come and enjoy every single day. The walk, and it's sort of a bit of an introduction into culture, the place. We learn a little bit about plants and animals, the bush tucker traditionally. We learn a little bit about Anangal culture, the traditional owners of this place, and a little bit about what they call their jukurupa, or their sort of creation time. All right?
But Kata Tjuta has just got so much character to it, you just can't help but be awestruck by it all. And to be there for sunset, to see those changing colours, there's always a magic moment of visiting Central Australia. It's something that has to happen in your lifetime.
Field of Lights was beautiful.
Sensational.
Absolutely beautiful.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
We stood at the top and I had the drinks and canapes, and that was beautiful. We watched the sunset over Uluru.
The kids loved it. It was an easy walk for the kids. The buses dropped off at the top of a sand dune.
Yep, that was about a 2-minute walk up.
You walk down into the field of lights, and it's dead flat for probably 2 or 3 kilometres. And the buses pick you up from the bottom of the field. But as the natural light disappeared and the man-made light took over, it just got better and better and better.
So if you think it's a bit of a gimmicky sort of thing, you're wrong. It is just a beautiful sight.
It's a real wonderland. It's wonderful.
Kings Creek Station was actually a highlight of mine for the trip. I loved it. The camping facilities were great. We had power and water. We had plenty of space. We actually had some green grass for the kids to run around on.
Yeah.
Would have liked to spend more time there actually. It was one of those spots that I definitely want to go back to.
Yeah. They had camels down the front and a donkey.
Yeah,
and they
which
were
the
really
kids
cool.
loved. Which the kids loved. Drover's Camp though is probably the highlight for me. To sit on that ridge top, watch the sunset, open fire and a meal. I've been lucky enough to travel the world with work, but that's probably one of the best places I've ever spent my evening. It was stunning.
And the history was fascinating too, of the family, of the region, of everything, and the camp hosts were able to tell us all that.
Yeah, no, amazing. The backdrop, that'll stay with me for forever. It was beautiful.
I loved the marshmallows around the campfire, and I had about 6.
And the kids absolutely loved it. We loved it.
Yeah.
Mum and Dad loved it.
Yeah.
It was really cool.
Our first stop after leaving the Kings Creek station was at Kathleen Springs, and that was a great little short walk, only about a kilometre each way, so 20-minute return, and it was just great.
And all the old relics and ruins of an old stockyard. The kids were enthralled there by a little lizard that just stopped there and looked at us and didn't want to move on. It was very friendly to humans.
We all really loved the walk to Kathleen Springs. It was fantastic. The kids ran the whole way. It was nice and flat and easy. And then we were able to look at the signposts along the way. It was really interesting for all the adults and the grandparents. Everybody, there was something different for everybody to see. And then when we got to the end, which was only not a big distance, but just enough to stretch the legs and get a break from the car, there were lots of wildflowers near the waterhole. And yeah, so it was perfect for everyone. It was fantastic.
We're at Kings Canyon.
And we're going to do the Kings Creek Walk.
Let's go.
Yeah, so the Kings Creek Walk and the Kings Canyon Rim Walk both lead from the same place. The Kings Canyon Rim Walk is a steep walk around the perimeter of the canyon, which would be spectacular. We did the Kings Creek Walk this morning because we had the kids. A little bit shorter, a little bit easier, but both absolutely spectacular. To get up close like this is breathtaking. We've had lots of fun doing the Kings Creek Walk this morning. A beautiful place, well recommended.
I loved coming through the West MacDonald Ranges, through the Mereenie Loop, seeing the different landscapes.
It's red, the dust is red, the stories are true, there's lots of dust. Having said that, we didn't really struggle with the dust because we drove to the conditions. Really cool, part of the experience was to see the red roads.
It was great.
Yeah, so I think provided you drive to the conditions and your car's prepared, the dust isn't a problem at all. The roads were impeccable.
And the landscape on the Mereenie Loop was just stunning.
Stunning.
It was beautiful, well worth it.
So driving along the 250 odd kilometres, we arrived at Glen Helen Gorge and stayed at the Glen Helen Lodge and stayed in a very comfortable cabin while the kids stayed in the caravan park, but the amenities were excellent. Glen Helen Gorge is an oasis in the desert. As you arrive, you are impressed by the red cliffs behind the lodge and just the permanent water site in front of it is a beautiful scene. The kids couldn't help themselves but run down to the beach and skim rocks on what is actually the Fink River. We walked down through the reeds, which was great because the kids were actually hidden. They were beneath the height of these reeds. Coming around the corner into this lovely permanent billabong, after so much desert, to see a great expanse of water is just something that's unexpected.
Standley Chasm was probably something that I wasn't expecting too much out of until I walked in and saw it.
It's probably only a 10-15 minute walk, fairly flat, really nice and easy, but then there was that sense of anticipation as it got narrower and narrower, and you sort of thought, oh, there's something coming, and then you get to the end and just two cliff faces, and then the sun at about noon shining straight through. It was just sensational.
It took my breath away, the sheer rocks, the blue sky, as the sun moved across the opening, the sun sort of transformed that chasm.
Well, here we are in Alice Springs.
And our camp, the Big Four here, is just wonderful. It's really kid-friendly. It's a huge camp. It can accommodate 1,400 people if need be. But you don't get the feel of, being crowded out. It's great.
My favourite thing from this whole week is going to the Alice Springs Desert Park.
We really loved Alice Springs Desert Park. All of us did. The kids thought it was fantastic. And the exhibits were beautifully laid out. There were no sort of cages. It was all beautiful enclosures within the landscape, in the natural landscape.
Yeah, very easy for the kids to get around. One thing that we've really appreciated is the layout of these places just makes it accessible for Mum and Dad, us, and for the kids. Yep.
And then the bird show was, I think, the highlight, and then followed by the wedge-tail eagle encounter, which was just amazing. We got really close, within about a hand's width of this amazing wedge-tail eagle, and the keeper there, James, was just fantastic. He could answer all our questions. It was wonderful.
Yep.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, no, great spot.
We're at Pundan camel tracks and it's been absolutely fantastic. We've just finished a 1 hour camel ride, which was lots of fun. Jessica had her own camel and I rode with Andy and with Jackson.
My camel was called Charlie. My camel was called Good Boy.
And it was fantastic. It was a brilliant perspective. It's amazing how quiet the animals are. You can barely hear their footsteps and you just walk really quietly through the West MacDonald Ranges and see the scenery, hear the animals, hear the birds, and it was just a beautiful way to explore West MacDonald Ranges. I loved it, kids loved it. It was very exciting to get on and off, and then it was really nice and gentle, the ride all the way there and all the way back. It was great fun, wasn't it, guys?
Yes! We're at School of the Air. Let's go inside.
It's a very interesting display. We've had a very comprehensive visit of talks from one of the teachers, videos, and we've been able to look in on some of the classes and seeing a class being operating. It's a great concept where kids can stay on their farms and their stations and their mobile homes and can have a very good education. It's a very well-run operation. It's come a long way since 1951 from pedal-powered radios. It really is well worth a visit to go and see the Alice Springs School of the Air. It's a great education.
We went to the Alice Springs Earth Sanctuary and it was absolutely fantastic.
I made damper, and first we put a whole can of lemonade in and we stirred it with my hands and it felt like squelchy mud. While they were cooking damper, they rolled out their swags and I got to sit in the swag and they told us about the stars. Tom and Dan played a song for us on the didgeridoo and it sounded like kookaburras.
They had step ladders so the little kids could climb up and see into the telescopes. And the guys helped them cover one eye so that they could still see, and they were really great with the kids.
When we went into the astronomy dome, it was really big and there was a humongous telescope and it looked up onto the moon, and the moon had lots of craters. It was a half moon. Yeah. I can see Saturn. I also like eating the damper. I think other kids would like to go to the Earth Sanctuary because they can learn what the stars are and where the planets are, and they can look at all the planets.
And the whole evening was absolutely amazing.
We just done the Web Centre Way.
And it was awesome!